There is a word in the book of Genesis that is almost never translated correctly, not because it is difficult, but because its true meaning changes the story too much. If we understand what the original Hebrew text actually says, then creation did not happen the way most of us were taught. And that raises an unsettling question. What if the beginning was not really the beginning? For centuries, millions have read the opening verses of the Bible believing they describe an absolute beginning, a moment where everything emerged from nothing. Yet when we examine the Hebrew text without modern theological filters, something unexpected appears. Genesis does not begin by explaining an origin. It begins by describing a condition. Today, we are not debating religion or doctrine. We are doing something far older, reading the text the way its original writers and listeners would have understood it. And by the end of this episode, you will understand why some scholars believe creation was actually a restoration. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This is likely the most well-known sentence in the entire Bible. It is memorized, quoted, and assumed to be understood. Yet in Hebrew, this sentence contains a verb that is neither casual nor ordinary. That verb is bara. Unlike other Hebrew verbs meaning to form, make, or build, bara is used exclusively for divine actions. It is never applied to human activity. More importantly, in many biblical contexts, bara does not describe creating from nothing, but radically transforming an existing condition. This forces us to pause and ask a rarely considered question. What state existed before God created, according to Genesis? Genesis 1-2 describes the earth as formless and void. In Hebrew, the phrase is tohu via ba'u. These words are not used to describe something new or unfinished, but something devastated, ruined, reduced to chaos. Elsewhere in the Old Testament, particularly in Jeremiah, the same phrase describes land after divine judgment. This creates a clear tension in the text. Why would a perfect God create a world already in ruins? The text does not explain it, but it leaves the question hanging. The text does not state that God created darkness. It simply declares that darkness was over the face of the deep. In biblical narrative, darkness is never neutral. It represents separation, judgment, and the absence of divine order. The deep symbolizes chaotic, uncontrollable depth. Genesis does not explain where this darkness came from. It only states that it was already there. And that omission is itself significant. Then something unexpected happens. The text says the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. The Hebrew verb evokes the image of a bird, hovering, protecting, and nurturing life. It does not describe an act of initial creation, but a process of care and restoration. This is the first clear indication that God is not starting something new, but repairing something that was damaged. When God says, "Let there be light," the text does not state that light is created from nothing. It states that light appears and is separated from darkness. Separation implies both realities already existed. This act does not mark an absolute beginning, but the imposition of order over chaos. Light, in this context, represents the restoration of divine order. Isaiah states that God did not create the earth in tohu. This confirms that the chaotic state described in Genesis was not the original design. Something happened between the initial creation and the condition described in Genesis 1-2. The Bible does not narrate the event, but it acknowledges its consequence. If Genesis describes a restoration, then the human world begins after a forgotten catastrophe. The Bible does not tell us what happened before, only shows us what God did afterward. And perhaps that silence is not an error, but an invitation to keep searching.